animal tracks are pretty fascinating, but I can't actually read them. But all around this area, there's quite a lot of footprints, like there's animal tracks, and then there's a hole there. And then on this other side, there's quite a lot of what you would term as animal tracks. So these are all disturbances in the soil made by a creature. And it's hard to distinguish what kind of creature it could be. It could be a bunny, a cat comes and goes around here. It could be, my parents think there might be a wombat somewhere, but whatever it is making definite tracks. And I would assume it's something that likes to eat worms. So, it could be a wallaby, it could be a batong, it could be any of these sorts of creatures we've seen around here, which is really interesting. But there are creatures on both sides of the fence. I mean, that's another hole there. So it's definitely pretty interesting. But there could be so many wild creatures in this scrub. What's that over there? Is that bark? I thought I saw something move. Like, what's that over there? Is that bark? I think it's just a shadow in the tree. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Swaying tree branch. I don't know why it's swaying like that. Maybe it's just the wind. Maybe something just crawled down from it. I don't know. But there's so much bushland now. It's like every time I bring it up, we should get into this paddock and start doing stuff to it. I was like, oh no, I'll wait for the grass to die during the winter. And now that the winter season's coming and the grass is, getting a different color, I was like, yeah, I'll wait till winter. And then now it's like, oh, I'll just wait till it gets really thick and then I'll get a bulldozer in. And it's like every time is like some sort of excuse not to bother with it. And it's like, oh, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. I've tried to get into this paddock, but I find the gate, I can't open that gate easily enough, so I can't just come and go in this paddock. Otherwise, I would have tried to cut back at least all these bushes. But there is so much overgrowth. And you're like, this isn't native bushland, this is your property, and you couldn't be bothered doing this paddock, and of course it's going to just grow more and more and more. And to think that it's going to be bulldozed is an expensive thought, which I don't see. I don't think it is going to be bulldozed. I think it's just going to grow and grow and grow until you've got a wild paddock. And I'm like, well, if I could get into this, I would, like I said, I would start working on these closer bushes. I would probably leave the stuff in between the trees. That's where all the snakes and wild animals are going to be. But, you could at least try. It's like there's no effort. And everything is just growing as a result. You're like going, whoa, that's not the way property is supposed to be. If on my property, I would get another couple of links on that dumb fence, because you just can't, I just can't take it out, I can't move it. And I was like, if I could, I would already be in this paddock while the trees aren't too grown but not overgrown, while they're not too big. And I would, a few times a week, you just need to spend half an hour chopping. I was like, just chop for half an hour and see where it gets you within a month. And then it's like, but no, these reflections that are on these trees over here, the dancing shadows, are really tripping me out, because I keep thinking something's moving and it's just a shadow. It has a moving shadow. So whatever is shading this tree over here is like probably from the overgrowth of the tall trees, and when they move, the shadow moves. So I'm like, oh, I keep tripping over that. It's a lovely sunny day, but on these sorts of days, I just have nothing to do. It's like all I want to do is go back indoors. And I'm like, it's such a headache.